Hey everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row, and today I'm going to get to pruning these elderberry bushes. There's a lot that I'm gonna have to take out. One thing that I realized was that a lot of people don't understand how to prune elderberry bushes, and I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. I had gotten some advice from a elderberry grower, and he had said to cut my elderberries all the way down to the ground. Now, while a lot of people do this to help control size, I am more looking for fruiting than I am the size, because ours can get really big and we're totally okay with that. If you're looking to reduce the size of your elderberries, you're going to want to cut them all the way to the ground. They'll put out new shoots. It also increases productivity in those smaller shoots. But you could face a year where it's minimal growth. So last year, cut everything all the way down to the ground, and we had very low growth. Not growth, we had great growth. I mean, as you can see, it is probably, what is that, 12, maybe 15 feet high, maybe 12. And so that's great growth in 1 year, but we didn't get very many berries. And we had elder flowers, but it seemed like they stuck around for a really long time and then never developed berries. Whereas the year before, we had big brown paper Aldi bags full of berries. And so we are looking more for production of berries than we are anything else. We're not trying to manage their size or anything like that. So today I'm going to prune away dead, damaged, or diseased. I don't see any disease on mine, so I won't be pruning any of those. But if you have them, make sure and prune them. So I'm just going to be bringing all of them about knee or waist height on me. And so I am 5'7", so, but I have short legs, so that might be different for you than it is for me. So I'm gonna get to it, but I also want to suggest, as you're cutting, keep your cuttings in good shape, because one of the greatest ways in the spring to earn money or to just propagate more elderberry bushes for you is to start from your cuttings. So these would be the cuttings that we're going to have. And I'll show, after I'm done, I'll show you again. I try to do this every year because I know that new people are joining and maybe haven't watched last year's elderberry video. But it's a great way. You can stick the cuttings in some potting soil and take them to the farmer's market. And I have seen, I was in another state and I went to a farmer's market and they were selling cuttings rooted and in potting soil and in a pot for $10 a piece. So I personally would probably sell them for just a little more than what I had into them, but I'm not looking for a side hustle right now. So, but if I was, $10 a piece is very fair. So as long as it's rooted, as long as it's not just stuck in there, it's actually rooted. But I'll go over all of that once I'm done pruning and you can see what it looks like. So let's get started. Okay, well that took all of what, 15 minutes, and I have this pile of branches. I think that's pretty stinking good. It's quick, it's easy, but as I was cutting these, and it looks so much neater and just all cleaned up, I love it. But as I was cleaning these, I started, or pruning them, not cleaning them. I still need to clean them, but I'm gonna wait for brute strength because that is crabgrass and it's very hard to get out. I started noticing that my royal candles are starting to grow, I wanted to show why you cut back all of this. And it's because of this new growth that's coming through. But the reason why I want to get to these is because I don't know if you can see it. Let me just try to zoom in. There are little elderberry shoots like right there. That's an elderberry shoot growing in. So I'm going to have to clean these up. 1, 2, 3, and this yarrow plant because it has elderberry growing in it too. And then I'll be able to get in there and snip those elderberries out. Before I get started on cleaning up those royal candles and the yarrow so I could get to the elderberry shoots that are coming out and clip those out as well, I wanted to show you this. This pad is called Gorilla Grip. And this has been a lifesaver for us because as you can see, we're super hard on things. And I usually clean this up, but I don't know if you can see there's paint and spackle and all sorts of stuff. We don't just use this for the garden, and I've had this 7 years. Now, why is it important to have one of these? Most of the time I do not use it, but sometimes I have to. Like, I want to use it because right now in the place that I'm going to put my knees on, there's a lot of like rocks and twigs and stuff that I could hurt my knees on. So I want to utilize this for that reason. And I have had another one of these kneelers that I got from a super reputable company. But when you put your knees on it, you actually felt things underneath. This, you feel nothing. Look how thick that is. And it's 7 years old. You can get it on Amazon. I am not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form. I'm not affiliated with anyone. We're too small. But when I get something that's super duper good, I like to share it with you guys. And so this can be used for household projects too. So very, very good investment. Again, it's a Gorilla Grip and you can get it on Amazon. So now I'm going to get started. Okay, I clipped those 3, and then that tiny yarrow right there. I actually started clipping, I don't know if you can see the rest. I've got lemon balm, I've got thyme, I've got, it looks like daylilies coming up. I've got so many things coming up in here. And so I was trying to clean them up, and then I remembered, I told you guys that I was going to start some plans so you could see how to do it. So I'm gonna stop doing this so we can go do that. Okay, so I'm in the greenhouse, and I just have an old Proven Winners container. I believe this is a quart container. And I have moistened potting soil. I use a spoma. You can use any potting soil you want. I just like a spoma because it has goodies in it. And so this is a branch that I trimmed off. Now this portion is a little bit bigger than a pencil, but you can do the proper size, I've sprouted everything from ones this big around. You just want bigger than a pencil thickness or greater. So I could probably get away with using all the way up. But here's how you do this. So you may not have sprouts like mine does yet. So they come out on 2 sides, okay? So here's 1, here is 2. What I'm going to do is, so here's my bottom, and I cut it at an angle, okay? And the top, so that you know what is the top, cut it straight. So look, see those sprouts? Oh, so sorry I hit you. Okay. Now, so there's one set of nodes, two sets of nodes. The bottom is cut at an angle, the top is cut flat. And so if you're just gonna stick it straight into a can, you don't have to worry about it so much. But some people aren't ready to do this yet, or maybe have to go buy supplies, or you may be still getting freezes where you are. And so if that is the case, then you can, I actually have some of these in my refrigerator right now. And what I did was I wetted paper towels, and I got my stacks of, there was like 20 cuttings that I had made. Sorry for the dirty hands. And I wrapped them in damp paper towel, put them in a Ziploc that's mostly closed. I leave about this much, that much, so that's about an inch open. And I stick it into the veggie drawer of my refrigerator. And so that'll kind of keep it in a wintry type state. And when I'm ready to plant them out, which we do have plans, we're going to create a hedge over in the other side of our garden. But it's actually for our bees. Whole other video. And so we'll show you when we get to that. But it is literally as simple as this. So here is my moistened soil. Here is my cutting, point side down. You just put it down a few inches. Make sure those bottom nodes are under the ground, or I mean under the soil. And that's your cutting. And you want to keep it in a greenhouse or a sunny windowsill. Or if your temps are okay, you can keep them outside. And so you might be wondering, why would I take a cutting and then put it outside? Well, you might be selling them. And if you have perfect temperatures outside for this, like no hard freezes coming or anything like that, then you can keep them outside. And when it rains, which it's springtime, so that's kind of what we're all going through, is spring rains, it'll water for you. This likes to stay pretty damp. And there are people who put these cuttings in water and they sprout roots. I didn't like that. I tried that for several years, and even though I dumped my water all the time and refilled it, it felt like my roots weren't very strong. But when I do it like this, not only did I have great roots, but the transplants survived and thrived. We actually had some sheep that came and ripped it out of the ground, or else you would see them over there by our sheep pen. But that has nothing to do with this procedure. I find that typically things that can grow roots in water, they tend to do a little bit like sweet potatoes. Their sprouts, I think, are better in some soil, but that's another video too. But these turn out to be absolutely beautiful. But it's actually such a simple process. And again, you can get a sleeve of these types on Amazon or at gardening centers, or any kind of gardening supply. And again, helpful hints, just keep them in sunlight like a greenhouse or a windowsill, and the soil moist. So it's that simple. Make a little extra money. If anything, you could make some money just to buy seeds, which is what I do. So when you make your second cut, which would be probably the last cut on here, so you know this was the top that I just cut off because it's flat. So you have to make this the bottom again, and I cut it pointy, and then cut the top. You can even put 3 nodes on if you want, just as long as this bottom node is under the soil. And then cut the top, and now you have another one. You can also, if your weather is okay and your ground isn't frozen, you can pop these babies right in the ground. Same rules apply. You want it to make sure that it's very moist, and you want to put the point side down, because if you put it this way, that's actually upside down and the nodes will grow down. It will be a very deformed tree. So make sure you mark that bottom and you put it right in the ground. Elderberries are super, super fast growing. They are just something that is incredibly easy to transplant, to manage. The first year, you really want to keep them watered. That is the biggest advice. I don't even put any biotone or any kind of fertilizers in the hole. Sometimes if I feel like the area has bad soil, I'll put in some compost, but that's it. Just again, keep these definitely moist, and you should have plenty of elderberries for whatever your needs are. We made elderberry syrup, and not only is it delicious, but it's a pleasure to take your medicine. And it's full of vitamin C and other vitamins and minerals, and you can look that up online. Hopefully this next fall I will get to showing you how to do those, but I highly, highly suggest propagating your own. If you have to buy your first ones, know that in 2 years when you prune, you will from there on out have your own elderberries, just like we do. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. We have so much fun doing these videos, and I love bringing everybody along as we are getting our farm in shape and we're adding to things. And look for future videos on how we are completely deconstructing and reconstructing our garden and our garden beds, and little helpful tips and tricks that go along the way. Now remember, if we can prune and pot up our elderberries and make money from them, anybody can. Thanks, bye.